Mix 106 movie reviews with a big Memorial Day weekend. Always a big weekend for movies, and two releases. One of them is a big release from Disney. George Clooney starring in Tomorrowland. And then we have a scary movie out this week. It is a new movie, but it's a remake of an old movie, Poltergeist.
They're here again.
I have to admit, I love scary movies, and I've never seen the original.
The original is, at least in my opinion, and I hate scary movies, was like scary as hell.
I hate clowns, so I think when I heard about that as a kid, I was like, no. But now I'm worried that, Willie, I can't see the remake.
Well, I think if you watch the remake, you're going to be surprised at everything that happens, unlike the rest of us, because we all know what's going to happen. I mean, this movie really does kind of follow the pattern and the plot of the first movie. I mean, they've updated the special effects. They changed a couple of details here and there, just kind of messed things up. And the best thing they did was they injected a little bit of snarky humor, because let's face it, if we're going to make these jokes out in the audience, they want to beat us to the punch.
Very good point.
Did you love it? Were you scared? Did you pee in your pants?
I mean, there's some scary moments. I mean, it's kind of a mix of shocks and mild gruesomeness, but I think the biggest problem with the movie is, what's the rush? I mean, this director just doesn't take any time to really establish an atmosphere. It's just, one night there's a couple of bumps in the night, the next night the poltergeist is blowing up the house.
So it just jumps right to that?
Yeah, it jumps really fast, extremely fast, too fast.
Well, the good
but
thing...
it does have Sam Rockwell and Jared Harris, which is really awesome.
I like Sam Rockwell.
I do, too. I think Sam Rockwell is the most underrated actor who's working today.
He is amazing. What was that prison movie he was in? Hilary Swank was his sister. That was so good.
Convicted, I think is what it was called.
That was good.
That's an awesome movie.
All right, so that's not this movie. So what would you give this movie?
I'll say 2 waffles. It's goodish.
Goodish. That is an official movie critic's term. It's goodish.
And I'm very sad you just gave this movie, who it sounded like you didn't like, a much better rating than you gave Pitch Perfect 2.
Because Pitch Perfect 2 is a lot worse than Poltergeist.
You are so wrong, and that's not even my opinion. You're just flat out wrong.
Now,
Rebel Wilson is lying to us about her background. They're probably all lip syncing.
No, but stop it.
Now I don't want to see it.
Yes, you do. It was a great movie.
All right, Willie, so I've been to Disneyland a lot. I've been to Tomorrowland, but I don't ever remember George Clooney taking my ticket.
Yeah, that would have made Tomorrowland a much bigger attraction at the Disney World.
Well, and kids wouldn't be going either.
So is this Interstellar?
No, I mean, it turns out to be kind of the dumbed-down version of everything I hoped it would be. So the idea is that George Clooney is a boy inventor genius who is drafted and recruited to become part of the future. And he's kicked out of the future. And he's told to never tell anybody what he saw or never come back. And, of course, there's a young lady played by Britt Robertson, who is also being recruited to be part of the future. And she needs George Clooney to get there.
Dun, dun, dun. Does Tim McGraw sing for the soundtrack, or is he actually in it?
He's in the movie for 3 scenes.
Oh, he was doing the junket, so it made it look like he was a big star.
Well, when you have him available to do interviews, you go for it, even if he's only in the movie for 5 minutes.
Is there good chemistry? Is there good believability?
I mean, I think the problem with the movie here is almost like the opposite of Poltergeist. Here, nothing gets going. We're just waiting, and they're teasing the plot, and they're teasing the fact that something really bad happened, and George Clooney wants to fix it, and then they're teasing that we might actually have a plot, but it just turns out they're killing a lot of time, and every time that the movie seems to want to be something special, wants to make a statement, they make it silly for kids. And that just kind of takes the movie in a whole other direction. But, George Clooney's great. I mean, he finds these moments to really salvage the script. Britt Robertson, the young lady, she's just got all the spunk a Disney ingenue needs. And frankly, I wish I was in college again so my crush on her would be less creepy.
So what do you give it?
I'm going to say 1.5 waffles for Tomorrowland.
So is this going to be one of those movies that Disney doesn't do a good job at turning one of their rides into a movie? Because they have done a pretty good job up until this point.
But Tomorrowland already has me. It has Space Mountain.
It's going to be kind of one of these movies where people look back and they go, there was a good movie in there someplace. They just didn't find it.
All right. So what do we got next weekend?
Next weekend, how about The Rock in San Andreas?
Yes.
And didn't they just have an earthquake yesterday on the San Andreas Fault?
Totally manufactured by the studio for promotional purposes.
Did you know The Rock eats 7,000 calories a day?
Well, he probably burns like 10,000.
That's what he said. I read a whole article about it. He is a mean machine.
I eat 10,000 calories a day, Kate, and you're not impressed by that.
He could push the San Andreas Fault back together with just his arms. Forget his legs, forget the shoulders, just the arms.
All right, we'll talk to you next week, Willie. Have a happy Memorial Day weekend.
Well, you two guys, I hope you enjoy.